Hey everyone, welcome back to the Overseers. My name's Proilios, and in this episode, I'll be reviewing the Chengdu Hunters roster going into the postseason playoffs for Season 4 of the Overwatch League. If you guys haven't checked out my previous reviews, I will put up a link somewhere on the top right about now. And yeah, let's get into this video. So as usual, I'll be going through the Hunter's tank line, then the DPS line, then the support line, and then just giving a brief on how far I think this team will go in the postseason games. So let's talk about the tank line first. The tank line is Gaga, Among, and Late Young. Now, let's start off with Gaga here because he's been the starting main tank for the Hunters for most of this season, and he has shown us some very consistent and effective wrecking ball play, especially. And I mean, I don't know what it is with the Chengdu Hunters and Wrecking Ball, but they just managed to get a really amazing Wrecking Ball player every season. And I actually like Gaga a little bit more than Among because he's a little more low resource, and he doesn't go for any kind of risky plays, unlike Among. And I like usually this would be a double-edged sword, but I think for the hunters especially, Gaga has a more appropriate play style that's suited to the team compared to Among. And what's great about Gaga is that he's not just a ball one trick. He can flex to all of the other main tanks as well. And I think his Winston especially has looked really good. I had watched him play back in Contenders when he was with Team CC, and he used to play an amazing Reinhardt as well. So I thought when he'd come into the league, he'd just be great on Reinhardt and Wrecking Ball, but his Winston has just been amazing. So, that's really commendable from Gaga. And in case the hunters feel like it, they can just field Among in this meta because Wrecking Ball has received a really good adaptive shield buff and some fixes to the proximity mines so that they do not get stuck to walls. So, with more kind of consistent expectations with balls, ultimate usage, as well as his kind of increased adaptive shield play time, because of which he can play aggressively for a little bit longer when he engages. I think Ball might be in such a good place that the hunters might not want to swap off him on a map to map basis. So in that case, they can definitely feel Lamang because he's still pretty much at the top. Even though I like Gaga more and I feel that his playstyle is better for the hunters, Among is still objectively really good. He has some stylistic differences, like mainly in the sense that he goes for hard engages more often than Gaga, who plays more to just annoy and distract his opponents. And I think the decision to play either Imang or Gaga will depend on what kind of playstyle the hunters want to use. If they want to have a really coordinated kind of playstyle where they go for all those slam engages, then I think Amang would be better because he likes to go for those hard engages often anyway. If they want a more kind of independent comp where everyone's trying to just mechanically outplay the enemy team, I would say Gaga is a better fit. So it just remains to be seen, firstly, if Wrecking Ball is so invulnerable that the hunters just play ball comps 24/7, which I think is definitely possible in this meta, and whether they feel like they should play some Winston comps or Orisa or Reinhardt at all. Although I doubt that'll be the case because the hunters generally prefer playing all these high mobility comps. And anyway, backing up these two main tanks is Late Young, who has been the starting off tank for the hunters ever since Elsa retired earlier this year. And Late Young, although he's just played a lot of Diva this season, is the pioneer of Zarya play in APAC. Pretty much since he pulled out the Zarya and was temporarily made the starting off tank last year when they played those ball Zarya compositions towards the end of the season, and Late Young just looked phenomenal. Like he's amazing at enabling his main tank as well as peeling for his backline, which makes him a really good off tank player. And yeah, it's just good to have him over there on the roster to back up these main tanks. Let's now move on to the DPS line of Leave, Jinmu, Jimmy, and Taro Cookie. Now, I feel like Leave and Jinmu are going to be starting for like most of the maps, if not all the maps that the Hunters play, mainly because they've firstly got uh, s- like pre-made synergy, as well as the kind of the widest hero pools among all the DPS players that they have. We obviously have Leave, who has just been a complete mechanical carry for the team this season, whether it's on the Tracer, the Echo, the Hanzo especially, the Sombra, the Ash. You name a hero and Leave can mechanically carry on it. Then you've got Jinmu, who's like he's just an absolutely astounding projectile player. His Farah especially looked exceptional during the Countdown Cup when he got to put it off because of those hit scan nerfs. And he has also been grinding the Sombra a lot and has grown to be quite consistent on the hero. If not, I mean, obviously he still requires work on Sombra, but uh, there has been a noticeable amount of improvement in his Sombra. Um compared to the past season. So good efforts from Jinmo, and I'm sure he's just a really hardworking player as well. Then they've also got Jimmy, who has, I mean, he's been the Widowmaker specialist on certain maps, especially Gibraltar, and I think Jimmy is still a kind of like, how do you say? He's got really good mechanics, but I don't think he performs well under pressure. And I just don't mean like psychological pressure. If he's pressured in game by, let's say, a dive tank or a flanker, then he just stops getting value instantly. There's it His value just goes from 100 to 0 because if he's not contested, he plays very well and gets picks. But the moment you kind of contest him or just dive him or flank and attack him, he just kind of switches off, which is not a good sign. On the bright side, Widowmaker's not crucial at all in this meta. It's more like it leans more towards dive oriented or high mobility heroes like the Tracer, the Echo, the Pharah, the Sombra, the what else? Maybe the Genji. I'm not sure at this point. Um, but yeah, we don't really uh, we shouldn't expect to see Jimmy at all. And the same goes for Taro Cookie, who played probably like one or two matches for the team and then has just been perma benched, which I think is a good decision considering how amazing Leave is and how well Jinmu synergizes with the team at this point. It's kind of like Leave and Jinmu almost kind of dictate the playstyle that the Hunters go with. So they are a really crucial DPS line. Then moving on to the supports, the team has got Nisha and Yveltal on main support, and Monk and Farway 1987 on flex support. Now, we've primarily seen the Hunters playing just Mercy and Brigitte on main support because they do not play rush compositions a lot. Um, so, in terms of both the main supports, I would say Yveltal is going to be their go-to because I think his Brigitte has just been the best in the APAC region this season, and his Mercy has always been famous. He's really great at pocketing Jinmu, especially on the Farah. But not just him, whoever he needs to pocket, and then he also goes for those assassination plays with his Glock on Mercy, which is just fantastic to watch. So I expect Yveltal to be fielded more than Nisha, who hasn't looked too good on the break. I would say Nisha's Mercy is still fine, but his break still needs some work because of which Yveltal seems like the obvious choice. And then on flex support, even though they've got a fantastic Zen player in Farway, they will probably go ahead and field Monk for most of these playoffs because yeah, we have seen his Ana being really good, but I also think Monk is an underrated Zen era player because he seems to be on the same page with his team. I mean, his mechanics are naturally really good, but he's also on the same page as Gaga and Leave most of the time because he discards exactly whom his team is about to dive or engage. If you guys want to confirm that, you can watch in the replay viewer whenever they are playing those balls and compositions. Um, Although I do believe that they will be playing uh, a fair bit of Ana as well, considering that they might want to run Jinmu's Farah on certain maps. So in that case, they'll naturally go with the Mercy Ana rather than the Mercy Zen for a good amount of healing for the rest of the team. So yeah. I feel like Yveltal Monk will be the starting support line, Lee and Jinmu the starting DPS line. And then I'm really not sure which main tank will be fielded, but yeah, they've got Lei Yong on off tank. So overall, I feel like this team is in a good position to advance in these playoffs, but I do not think they're top tier because if it comes down to uh, like which team is more flexible, in that case, I think the Hunters can fall behind a little bit because they pretty much are just good at those high mobility compositions, especially centered on around Wrecking Ball. And in case they are countered by a lot of other teams, uh, they will definitely struggle. I mean, that seems like a really obvious statement because if any team is countered, they are going to struggle. But I feel the Hunters especially will face a lot of different kinds of opponents and play styles. It will be the um, how do you say it? It'll be the entryway into some really new looks, I think, because they haven't played against all of the NA teams yet, right? They haven't played the Shock this season. They haven't played the Atlanta Reign either. I think those are the two teams they haven't played. So those will be some new. Oh no, they have beaten the Reign, I think. Anyway, but the meta has changed. There are no longer any hero pools, so I feel like the hunters will have to be a lot more adaptable if they want to get to that that championship match. And it's going to be an uphill battle for them for sure. And I think they will struggle. So I think they'll probably go around 50% of the way and then lose. They're probably like a mid-table team at this point. So yeah, that's what I think at this point. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Chengdu Hunters going into these playoffs. If you guys have anything to add, please feel free to use the comment section. And remember to share this video with other Overwatch League fans so that they get exposed to kind of a um, new perspective on pro play. And I would really appreciate it. Of course, helps the channel out by a huge amount. So thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you guys in the next review, which will be about the Atlanta Reign. Bye bye.